Thank you very much, Kevin Pollak. Great. For 6 years, our next guest served as a senator from the great state of North Carolina. He has also edited this new book entitled Home, The Blueprints of Our Lives. Please welcome Senator John Edwards. Senator.
Thank you.
How things been going? All right?
Things are going well, yeah.
Tell us what you feel, what's the impression, your perspective of the midterm elections? What is the fallout, the ups and the downs of that?
Good.
Yeah?
All good.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, what I think is the war was the election was in many ways a referendum on the war and the way the war was being conducted, and I think the voters have spoken, and hopefully we'll see some change in direction in Iraq.
Right, and what is the likelihood of that, and what might it be? I mean, what really can be done now?
Well, I think we have to make it clear we're going to leave Iraq. We're not going to be there forever, and the best way to make that clear is to actually start leaving. I mean, starting to take troops out of Iraq.
And I think the one good immediate thing that might come from that is Americans will stop being killed on a daily basis. So that would be great.
That would be a very good thing.
Be tremendous. But what is your view for the future of the country then, Iraq?
Well, I think what we have to recognize is eventually Iraq's going to have to do it for themselves. And there's no chance any other country in that region is going to help to secure Iraq as long as we're there as an occupying force. So I think we need to make it clear we're leaving, start the process. We ought to do it in a smart, efficient way with some advice from our military leadership. And then we ought to make it clear to Iraq that they're going to have to step to the plate and look after themselves.
And if what's the likelihood of us stepping aside and then the whole thing collapsing? Is that a possibility?
I think anything's a possibility. Anybody who suggests that they know that this course will be successful is just not telling the truth. The truth is the choices are bad. We're in a bad situation, and we have to use the best judgment we can under the circumstances.
Let's talk a bit about your background. You're an attorney, is that right?
I am.
And a trial
At least I used to be, yeah.
Yeah. When you were a kid, was that in your family? Did you have fathers, uncles, friends? What drove you or led you to law?
I thought Perry Mason was cool.
Well, there you go. What particularly did you like about Perry Mason?
I liked seeing him chew people up on the witness stand.
Yeah. And when you were ever in court, did you think of something that Perry Mason did or said that helped you in the case?
Yeah, and every time I tried it, I looked like a buffoon.
Let's talk about what about the Democrats running in 2008? Are you on that list?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be exciting, huh? Let's run it down. Everybody's talking about Hillary.
Yep.
Barack Obama.
Yep.
Yourself.
Yep.
The Republicans, it's John McCain. I don't know who else might be. Who am I missing? Who am I leaving out? Maybe Al Gore. Al Gore. Think about it again.
Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani. Now that would be fascinating.
I heard actually that earlier this week he announced an exploratory committee.
That's what I heard as well. Yeah. And likely yourself then.
Maybe.
Yeah. What would be the determining factor in your own campaign?
About whether to run or not?
Yes.
Well, I got to make sure my wife Elizabeth continues to do well. Her health is very good right now, and she's doing great, which I'm very happy about.
I just, I mean, the older I get and the more we do this show, I just can't imagine anybody, a man or woman, wanting that job because, I mean, if you're looking for dough, anything else pays more money than being president. Yeah. And punks like me eat these guys left and right.
I was really upset to see you making fun of our president, by the way.
That's just it. But that's what we do. And there are other shows, and I would just think that wouldn't you get tired of having your shorts handed to you every night? I mean, is that a consideration about running?
Yeah, actually it is, because it can be brutal, especially when you screw up.
Right, and it's beyond just being thick-skinned. I mean, oh my God, it's merciless, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It can be merciless.
But
in fairness, sometimes we bring it on ourselves.
Well, yes, but I mean, in any other walk of life, largely you're allowed to screw up on your own in your own time in your own home, where nobody but the kids will see you.
Yeah, it's very different. Yeah.
And Rumsfeld taking a hike. How did you feel about that?
Several years too late.
Yeah, too late. Yeah, and. I mean, if it was in the air, and apparently he had offered his resignation a couple of times, why didn't the Republicans do this a year ago, a month ago, a day before the election? Why wait till the day after the election?
I have absolutely no idea, unless they thought, it would be a sign of weakness that they were replacing Rumsfeld. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but it also could be viewed as maybe a step in the right direction before the elections that could have perhaps saved them a seat or two.
Heaven forbid we make a step in the right direction.
I guess so. Let's talk about the book. Did I describe this correctly? It's stories about the lives of a wide variety of Americans?
It is. Growing up, basically, the homes that they grew up in.
And is that you on the cover?
Isn't that a good-looking kid?
Yeah.
I'm posing. Do you notice that?
Very nice. And was there a similarity in the stories, a common thread?
There was. There was. What was actually startling to me, because lots of people wrote stories, some famous people, Steven Spielberg, Hank Azaria, Sugar Ray Leonard, lots of famous people, and then some people who weren't famous, and there was a very common thread, and the thread was that people remember the same things. They remember their parents coming home from work, sitting around the kitchen table, cooking, sort of the warmth and security, and the sense you get when you read it is that there's a real connectedness for us as Americans. We have all these superficial differences: political, race, where we live in the country, income, lots of different differences. But when you get down to it, we have an awful lot in common.
Were these all positive memories, or did you have any that were?
There were some that were less positive. I mean, but I think the truth is that most people, I bet it's true of you too, most people, when they think back to their childhood, most of what you remember, you tend to block out the bad things and remember the good things.
Right. I remember I had an uncle, Claude, who drank, and I remember one time he chased me around the yard with a sharp stick.
If you were writing about your home, would you write about that? Yes.
First story in there. This is the book, The Blueprints of Our Lives, and maybe he's running, maybe he's not running, ladies and gentlemen. Former Senator John Edwards. Thank you very much. Glad to see you. We'll be right back with Will Arnett, everybody.